Hey, what's up, witches? It's me, Luna, with my now fourth attempt at recording a chart reading for the new moon and for Mercury retro. So let's take a look. Get in before I trip over my tongue again. All right. Ignore the house cusps, and I will be talking about house numbers so you know where I'm located in the chart, because when I do this screen share, suddenly my cursor goes black and you can't see where I'm swirling it around. At any rate, let's start down at the bottom here with the elements and modes. Of course, we have to shave some off of water and air because we're not looking at the house cusps, but we do still have a fairly strong Libra chart signature, and no wonder, it's a Libra new moon. So the general overall urge is to be social, to do something pleasing, to do something fun, to, have nice conversation, eat something yummy, look at something beautiful, all of those Libra things. I want to look here at the elements and see too that we have a low score on fire, and in the modes we have a low score on mutable. So what we're going to be lacking in is drive and motivation, passion, and also flexibility. Okay, so this new moon is actually squared by Pluto. You see over here in the 12th house area, we have this now true stellium of Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn that's been in place since last spring, and it's a grinder. All that Capricorn energy says that karmically, we are going to pay the piper for anything that we do right now. We're actually in the middle of paying the piper for past actions. That's the Saturn-Pluto conjunction of just extreme karmic debt coming due. And then we've got Jupiter, Pluto conjuncting each other, 3 degrees off each other. So that talks about the struggle between this Pluto urge to fascism and extremes, and Jupiter being justice, basically. But it is a true stellium because Jupiter and Saturn here, the outer planets, are only 6 degrees apart from each other. So we do have just this concentrated Capricorn wad that can bring us to thinking in negative terms, particularly squared by the new moon. With Pluto squaring the new moon, it just says we're going to be very intense in our feelings, in our reactions, in our self-expression. I know we're all feeling this anyway. We're feeling this stellium. Things are feeling intense and extreme. So that's going on. We also have Mars squaring both Jupiter and Pluto. The new moon also squares Saturn. I mean, there's no getting away from consequences here. So the new moon itself is ruled by Venus. So if you get that social urge to go out, Venus sitting in Virgo says make sure that it's following health guidelines. Virgo rules health regimens and your general health. And so Venus sitting in Virgo ruling that new moon just says whatever social things you decide to do, make sure that they are following health guidelines, make sure that you think about them and that you're discriminating in your choices. Because Saturn squaring that new moon says you won't get away with anything. There's no freebie there. You're going to pay for whatever you do. Okay. Mars squaring Jupiter says it can be very easy for us to go way overboard, and Mars being retrograde in Aries right now, there's that strong Aries drive, but it's underground and it's not practical. So that sets us up for a lot of frustration, particularly squaring Jupiter expands everything. Squaring Pluto intensifies everything. So we do have a setup, and we've got Mars opposing that new moon. So we do have a setup for people to be very reactive and ouchy and intense. And while we've got that social urge, just maybe step back for a moment and think about it a couple times. Is this worth the risk that I might be opening myself to health-wise, to just have a little bit of social time with people that are going to be ouchy and reactive and intense. So let's look at it in terms of spell work. What would this be good for doing? With the new moon squaring Pluto, it is time to clear the decks of anything that just has to fucking die now. Okay, Pluto is death and rebirth, it's transformation. What is it you can finally shut the door on? And know that with Saturn squaring there, you're not going to be able to just shut the door on something that you have karmic debt still owing. You're going to have to step up, be responsible, own up to it, and then you can transform and move things out of the way that you need not to be there anymore. All right. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'd be doing with it. It's time for just intense transformation. It's time for a really good look in the mirror to see where you still need to step up to responsibility, where you need to say, this is mine to figure out, take on that responsibility, and then that Pluto transformative energy can kick in. Okay, before I let you go here, let's look at Mercury, which will be in this chart of the new moon on October 16th, 3:30 p.m., by the way, Eastern. Mercury will be retrograde by then. Let me animate this and back it up a couple of days. So on the 13th, which is Tuesday, it stops moving forward. On Wednesday, it is still at a dead stop, but there's no more any hope of forward movement. And then by the next day, it is fully retrograde. So we are going to be backing up through Scorpio. And on the 28th or 29th of October, it backs into Libra. So Mercury in Scorpio by itself means that things run to the extremes and intensity as far as our thought patterns, our communication style, scheduling things. There could be a lot of like either or choices where there's no gray area in between. So the things that come up for review with Mercury and Scorpio are those Scorpio type things. Places where we go to extremes, how we get our needs met with other people and how we communicate our needs to other people. Anything dealing with legal matters, legacies, inheritances, resources that we get from other people. So those things will come up for review. Just know that the tendency is to see things in black and white. So when you hit that and it's like, you find yourself going off onto an extreme thought pattern, step back and say, where are the gray areas here? Is this really true? Just ask yourself, is that really true when your mind is judging? Because Mercury in Scorpio is judgy as all fucking get out. Let's see. What else here? Mercury being in a water sign also says that our emotions color our thought patterns. So be aware of that as well. Mercury will continue retrograde until November 2nd, and then we'll turn around again and we clear the shadow on November 20th, once Mercury clears that 11 degrees Scorpio point. So again, you know the rules with retrogrades. Don't buy big ticket items, especially electronics, houses, cars, like that. Don't sign contracts if you can help it. Don't schedule things that aren't easily rescheduled. And if you can't help doing any of those things, call in your helpers, get other people's eyes on them, take your time, think things through, read again and again and again, read the fine print, ask questions, but most of all, call in your guides and guardians and just say, please go before me and help me not fuck up. Okay. All right, everybody. I hope that was helpful to you. I will be here tomorrow for another unboxing, and I'll be here Wednesday night for another live stream. And until then, this is the Zen Witch. Take care, be safe, wear a mask. Blessed be.